But I think people like to be victims sometimes.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Why do so many women stay in bad relationships?
You're like, oh.
The collective
Alrighty, let's take a sec. No, well, that, you know what? It's complicated.
Yeah.
It is. It's complicated. The overriding word I would use is fear. A lot of fear. Fear of making the decision. Fear of how do I get out of it. The fear of what do I do once I do get out of it.
I think you feel very fragile from my clients. I also come from divorced parents also, and I think you feel very fragile, especially if it's a longer relationship too. We're talking past 5 years. I mean, so much of your
get older.
Yes, and so much of your identity is wrapped up now in this duo, and I couldn't agree with you more. I think it all has to do with fear.
I don't know how old you guys are, but do you remember 8-track tapes?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Do we have to admit that?
I'm sorry, but I was an 8-track girl.
8-track tapes.
We'll have another
remember
video on
cassette
that.
tapes.
But
Does that?
I always tell my clients is that our past are like 8-track tapes. And we think that, like, we keep trying to play it over and over again, and in bad relationships, it's like, it's familiar to us. And so I always tell my client, like, get rid of the 8-track tapes. They don't exist any longer. They don't play. It's time for the MP3. It's get rid of that. But they don't know how because it's all they know.
Staying in something that isn't healthy and that there's still a certainty around it. You know what you're getting versus
it's exactly
uncertainty.
The story we tell ourselves about what it means for us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it means if I leave this, I'm a failure. It means if I leave, I'm single or divorced or a single parent. And those stories, I think, keep women so stuck.
I don't think it's all I can't because I don't know how. Like, I think that's a piece of it, but I think there's a piece of it.
You're calling a little BS on that?
All right, bring it.
I mean, there's a piece of us that get.
But I think people like to be victims sometimes.
Okay, let's talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right, and boo.
Yeah.
But I think it again goes back to sense of identity. I think a lot of it is wrapped up. Sense of identity can be wrapped up in being a victim also.
Women, a lot of times, are addicted to the way bad love feels. You know,
The adrenaline rushes and the ups and downs.
The roller coaster of like,
It's
it's great, it sucks, it's great, it sucks, and you get on that ride, and to your point about the victim, you kind of choose to stay on that ride, and it's my feeling is like until you decide to know better, you're gonna keep getting on that ride. Change happens when you're sick of not changing.
Yeah.
You know, when it becomes more uncomfortable.
The pain becomes greater than
you're like,
you know,
I'd actually
the pain.
like to change now.
Well, we also have this false belief system that what lies on the other side of the change is worse than what we're
That's
dealing
right.
with right now. We don't have this faith and trust that, this could be
better. You stop becoming what you're meant to be within the context of the relationship.
evolving.
And then so
Wrong
it becomes
relationship.
daunting. It becomes daunting. And so it is easier to just say, this is my lot.
Like to
right?
give
this
up?
is it.
I remember there was a client I was working with, and we were practicing flirting techniques, right? And so, well, we'll talk about that later. But what was so interesting to me is that there was a guy who was treating her as a total gentleman. He was doing all the things that you were saying, opening the doors, and really complimenting her. And when we walked away, I said, so how did that feel? And she's like, I mean, he's nice, but I just didn't have that chemistry with him. So you hear this a lot, that the bad
She didn't
boy,
trust it?
right? She didn't trust it. Well, it's unfamiliar
Well, it's not
to her.
familiar, exactly.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah,
and
you know how to navigate the familiar, even if it's bad.
right.
It's that whole thing.
I know
that-
what to expect.
Yeah.
The uncertainty
Yeah.
is too uncomfortable.
It's that whole thing of like, if someone wants you to join their club, you don't want to join their club. Why would I want to join their club?
Reverse psychology.
What percentage of your clients deal with this issue? I'm in a shitty relationship. I need to get out. I don't know how. What percentage? Go around the room.
I'm in a unique situation
Yeah.
that they've all done it
So
or are in
100%
the
for you.
process, really, all of them.
Okay. You?
Oh yeah, I mean, working with people going through breakups.
All. Pretty much everyone.
Or have been through a bad breakup.
But how about the women that are stuck?
40% probably. I have a lot of single
I'd say
women.
50-50 because some just don't even know what a relationship looks like.
Okay, so one final question. When a woman makes a decision to get out of a bad relationship, how easy is it once she's decided to get out?
I don't think you can get out without making that shift in perception, and I don't think it's easy either way. I think it's a lot of work, but you're dedicated to
Is
your
it easier?
future. Oh yeah, because it's the fuel you need to inspire the journey. So you can't do it without that.
I think it's as easy or hard as you make it, depending on what happens in somebody's history, but action speaks louder than words. And so if it's one shoe at a time,
And if you've made the decision, it's worth taking the strategic steps you have to do it.
You know, I think the decision is the key motivating factor. You've got to make that decision first. It's never easy after that. It is not like one path that's clear, like woohoo. But you know, you got to remember there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming and running over.
So to sum up, like I think ladies need to really like get to a place where the pain is crucial enough that they feel like I've got to get out of a bad relationship, and once that decision's made, it sounds like the path shows itself.